You're listening to Drummer Daily, the only daily podcast dedicated just to drummers, for a free video series explaining how you can become rock solid at playing drums with a click track in just 2 weeks in as little as 20 minutes per day. Visit boomclick.net. Hey there, how's it going? Welcome back again to another Drummer Daily. I want to make sure that you didn't miss the last episode. So if you're just hearing this is the first episode that you're catching, you should jump back and listen to my episode. I think it's called like 9 Great Gift Ideas for Drummers, something like that. I really had a good time putting that together. And so I might put some more of those together, maybe at different price ranges. And maybe not, when I do this, it'll probably be after holiday time. So maybe I'll just put it together. It'll just be kind of some cool gear ideas for, birthdays or other opportunities, just or whenever you feel like getting something cool and new, maybe you can check out my lists. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Today I thought about, a couple of episodes ago, I talked about YouTube drummers or Instagram drummers and all that stuff. And I actually caught a few more since then, watched a few more. I've seen a bunch of other YouTube and Instagram videos, and I kind of noticed a trend going through them all, and it's a really funny thing that happened. And so I wanted to talk about this today, and also wanted to give you an idea for some way that you can quickly improve your playing as a drummer. So I noticed that when I was on Instagram, if I have a 4-year-old son, and he'll be off playing or something, but then randomly he'll just run in the room, and want to talk to me or tell me something. And so this happened a few times when I was watching some Instagram drum videos. And so sometimes they'd start playing, but as soon as they start playing, I'd look away and talk to my son, and I'd forget to hit the, click on the picture or the video again to make it stop making sound or turn the volume. So the drumming would keep playing, but I wouldn't be looking at the video, and that would happen a bunch, and I'd get distracted by other things. Anyway, I just noticed that I'd look away from the screen, and I'd notice that drummers, the groove sounded really good, or it felt pretty good. And then I would look at the video, and all of a sudden I would notice that it started not feeling quite so, like the rhythm didn't feel like it was as locked in and as solid as it sounded like it was when I started. Like it was just by seeing the video, all of a sudden I wasn't feeling like the groove was as good as it sounded like it was without looking. And I was like, why is this? And what I noticed was that most of the drummers that I had that feeling about, they looked really uncomfortable, really stiff, really, really just, I guess uncomfortable is the right word, not confident in what they were playing or how they were playing it. And it hitting really lightly in a weird way that's not striking the drum to make a musical note, just kind of tapping in a weird way. Or they were almost too relaxed. The other thing where they were just like, it's almost kind of like, I'd have to do a video of this, but it kind of seems like you're trying to play drums on top of water and not splash too much is what it looked like. Like you're not hitting the drum like you mean it, but you're also either that or you're hitting the drum too hard and you're really tense. Anyway, I noticed that the way that someone looks to me affects how I hear, how I hear them, how I perceive their sense of timing or groove to be. And to back up, years and years, growing up, I loved magic. And I mean, like, not the card game, but like, I love doing magic tricks for people. So I learned all these card tricks. I had the magic set, where you can, do the little fuzzy balls under the cups and you switch them around and you trick people into, what that thing is, or like make the handkerchief disappear from your hand, all those kinds of things. And I think growing up doing that made me hyper aware, because, doing magic tricks like that is all about, managing what people are perceiving when you're performing. You're misdirecting them so they don't see you put the thing in your pocket or up your sleeve or whatever it is. But I learned to be very aware of when someone was watching me, knowing that there was only so much information they were taking in, and that you can distract somebody from what you're doing with your hands by saying something to them at a certain time, and then do something right out in the open without without having to be so careful. But what I learned was that there's all these other signals that people, without realizing it, subconsciously use to pick up on something they're perceiving. So what I'm trying to say is this. I think from an early age, I understood that when I was drumming, that people were perceiving a lot of what I was drumming, and they weren't just using their ears. A lot of what they were hearing was actually being informed by what they were seeing. And I think that I got to the point where I realized that if I was playing looked uncomfortable playing, that people would think that the rhythm didn't feel well. And this actually worked with when I played with other musicians as well. A lot of times when I was young, I found myself with I was 13, 14 years old, and I'd find myself in these situations with, other musicians who might have been twice my age. And it's how do I kind of feel like I'm swimming, I'm out of my league as far as age and musicianship and maturity goes. How can I get away with me being me? And how I did that was I learned to play in a way that was confident and relaxed, so that they would perceive that I was playing better than I was, or more solid than I was, at least as far as I could tell. And so what I want to encourage you to do with this idea to play around with is, if you can get it, maybe even set up your phone to do some video of yourself. And what I would do is I would just sit down and set the video camera up, or set the phone up, to video yourself, and then play a rhythm and intentionally try to play really tense and really tight, and play kind of almost like you're not sure, but don't force it to sound weird. Try to play it exactly the same, but just kind of tense up. And then make sure it's a rhythm that's, something that's easy for you to play. It's not going to be a challenging rhythm where this is not going to work as an experiment. But then try the same rhythm and play it confidently and not too loud, not too soft. Just play a nice medium volume, but hit the drums like you know what you're doing. Think confident, strong thoughts, and play that way. And then watch the video back and notice the difference in how it sounds when you close your eyes versus when you open your eyes. And like I said, with these two different types of, when you do this experiment, your goal when you're doing it is, even though you're tensing up, you want to try to make it sound the exact same as when you're relaxed. And like I said, the same thing, when you get relaxed, you don't need to play it sloppy. You still want to try to make it sound exactly the same. So the goal is that you're gonna try to produce the exact same thing each way. You're only changing your body and your posture. And listen to how that sounds. I've noticed that there's two things that'll happen. So if you can do that, if you can learn to play more relaxed, more confident, two things will happen. One, like I mentioned, is that people will start to perceive that you actually are a better player, and you're not deceiving people. You're actually just you're getting rid of a visual distraction that makes people have a incorrect impression about your playing. You're actually stripping back something and revealing more of the real playing that you are, the skill, the great drummer that you are. You're actually you're stripping away a shield that was covering over part of that and showing I'm actually a great drummer, and here is me playing without that distraction of me looking uncomfortable. So if you can start to try to look more comfortable, even if you have to set a mirror up in front of your drums, people will start to perceive that you play differently. But it will actually improve your playing as well. I don't think there's any time when playing tight and tense is necessarily a positive thing for drumming. So I want to encourage you to try to focus on not only relaxing, but like I said, literally take this to heart. Hit the drums like you mean it. When you hit the snare drum or you hit the kick drum, I'm not saying play hard, but I'm saying when you strike a note on one of those drums, play it like you're meaning to play that note. Like it's not a mistake, it's not an accident, and you are sure that when it lands, that it's landing exactly in the right spot, and it sounds great, and you're locked into the groove. Even if you're not, if you start in your mind saying, I'm doing this right, and I'm playing what I mean to, I think that you'll discover that it actually unlocks something new in your playing. So that's my tip for today. I hope that you enjoyed this, and let me know what you think. Send me an email, Daniel@danielhadaway.com, or check out my website, danielhadaway.com, and let me know if how this experiment works out. I'd love to see maybe if you post this on Instagram, post a video of you doing like 30 seconds of each. or something, or 10 seconds of each. Do it really stiff and do it really loose. Now I know that you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're maybe not putting your best foot forward in your drumming on Instagram. That could be tough for some of us, but it'd be cool to see if you do that. If you post a video like that, like doing the experiment, you can always make sure that you're clear in your video that it's an experiment. So don't judge me, it's an experiment. But also you can mention me. My username is just Daniel Hadaway, and I'd love to see it. So do that if you are so inclined. All right, I'll talk to you again very soon. Until then, goodbye.